You will be required to do wrong no matter where you go. It is the basic condition of life, to be required to violate your own identity. At some time, every creature which lives must do so. It is the ultimate shadow, the defeat of creation. This is the curse at work, the curse that feeds on all life, everywhere in the universe. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep was written by Philip K. Dick in 1968. Dick's novel also inspired the very popular 1982 film Blade Runner and its later sequel in 2017, Blade Runner 2049. The year is 2021. The post-nuclear war named World War Terminus has left Earth radiated and somewhat uninhabitable for the human race, leading to many migrating off of Earth. Singularity has also occurred, with those on Earth incorporating technological advancements in their everyday lives. The story opens up with Rick Deckard waking up next to his wife Erin. They have both incorporated mood organs and dial to their selected emotions. Deckard also owns an electric sheep. Electric animals are more commonplace as most species have been wiped out from the radiation, leaving only electric stand-ins for livestock. In the beginning of the book, Rick aims to purchase a real-life animal for him and his wife, hoping it would give more meaning to their lives. Rick then leaves for work. The story then cuts to John Isidore, a man whose brain has been altered by the radiation, deeming him a chicken head. He lives alone in an apartment complex until a woman named Pris Stratton moves into the complex. Isidore's story moves forward with him interacting with Pris and eventually getting to know her friends. The story then cuts back to Rick, who we learn works as a bounty hunter and is tasked with eliminating 6 androids who have fled from Mars to Earth. The androids were made by the Rosen Corporation, so Rick starts his investigation there. At the Rosen Corporation, he meets Rachel Rosen, a woman who seems to be an android in Rick's eyes. This leads Deckard to administer the Voight-Kampff test. The Voight-Kampff test is essentially a Turing test, one that is able to distinguish a human from an android. Rachel fails the Voight-Kampff test, proving she's an android. She attempts to bribe Deckard into silence, but he only verifies that she is a Nexus 6 model android, the same as the ones he's hunting down. The plot progresses with Deckard running into the androids and having to eliminate them, but as he does this, it brings up the ethical and philosophical questions with his line of work. He starts to question android intelligence. What does it mean to be human, and how does that differ for an android? I won't go on to spoil the rest of the book, but instead I'd like to dive into its themes. These themes include Mercerism, nature, and empathy. Mercerism stems from a fictional martyr-like character named Wilbur Mercer. Mercerism is basically a future religion that's meant to bring everyone on Earth together. Using futuristic empathy boxes, humans are all linked up virtually, able to practice Mercer's preachings. Mercer's preachings are simple: be empathetic to the individual and work for the good of the community. However, there stands an opposition to these messages, and that takes the form of the Buster Friendly Show. Buster Friendly is a TV comic who pumps out brand new content every day, and with his radio program, records 46 hours of show every day. Impossible for any mere human. Android, he's an android. Buster Friendly's TV program is basically a talk show with a variety of colorful guests that all entertain a very lonely John Isidore. John is a hardcore binger of the Buster Friendly show, joking that Wilbur Mercer and Buster Friendly are both fighting for control of our psychic souls. Later in the book, Isidore, Pris, and her 2 friends are all watching a special Buster Friendly episode where Buster goes out of his way to prove that Mercerism is a hoax. Mercerism is a swindle, Buster proclaims. But if Mercer's a fraud, then what does that make Buster? Both Mercer and Friendly bring people together, but where they differ is how. Buster's show aims to capture individuals, while Mercer's practices aim to capture groups of people and bring them together for the community. Whether Mercer exists or not does not matter. What does matter is everyone coming together for the sake of humanity. Both Isidore and Deckard are visited by a hallucination of Wilbur Mercer, and from then on work to incorporate Mercerism in their lives. Isidore deciding to move closer to humanity, and Deckard pursuing his goal to own a real-life animal. Which brings us to the second theme of the book, nature. As I've mentioned before, radiation has taken over most of Earth, and animals are pretty much close to extinction. The opportunity to own a real-life animal can show how wealthy a house is, while also giving it more responsibilities. In the beginning of the book, the Deckards are looking for something to spice up their miserable lives. What better than a living creature to take care of and grow? This kind of coincides with Mercerism, as working for the good of the community could also mean breeding its livestock and recreating animal species for Earth. The other aspect of nature that Philip K. Dick focuses on is the pollution of the planet. Off of page 65 of the book, kibble is useless objects, like junk mail or match folders after you use the last match, or gum wrappers or yesterday's homeopape. When nobody's around, kibble reproduces itself. For instance, if you go to bed leaving any kibble around your apartment, when you wake up the next morning, there's twice as much of it. It always gets more and more. He goes on to add that the entire universe is moving toward a final state of total, absolute kibbleization. Dick projects fear of a polluted planet, a toxic Earth that cannot support human life, or any life for that matter. That is all clearly shown in the book, with the humans on Earth not being able to make any difference to the polluted wasteland they live in. Lastly, the book talks a whole bunch about empathy. If there's anything to take away from the book, it's that empathy and humanity go hand in hand. Empathy is a core focus of Mercerism, which is meant to bring everyone on Earth together, despite the religion having a more technology-heavy background. The purpose of Deckard's Voight-Kampff test is to show whether or not the individual shows empathy from the question and answer format. Androids are defined to lack empathy. This is exemplified later in the book with Isidore, Pris, and her friends all surrounding one very unlucky spider. Despite artificial mood organs replacing how people can feel, humans still hold empathy for the creatures around them. Both Deckard and Isidore show empathy throughout the book, with Isidore being kind to every being around him. As for Rick Deckard, his interactions with Rachel Rosen and the other androids cause him to blur the line between humanity and android. Rick starts to value all lives, human or robotic, the same, causing him to retire from bounty hunting towards the end of the book. Rick's character development is set in stone once he utters the line towards the end of the book. Electric things have their lives too, leaving Rick to accept life, be it real or artificial.